You're supposed to talk, Randy.
Where's Pete?
There we go.
Where?
This is flawless content.
There you are.
Absolutely and
Where?
utterly flawless
Where have you been?
content. Elsewhere is where it... This is...
Pete, it's drooping.
I know it is. This is what you all came for. This is the content that everyone has subscribed for. This is.
it's so floppy. You've heard that before. Do you want me to?
No.
I'll hold it.
No, it's fine. Andy, you're going to make it worse. You literally just loosened it.
Right.
It's fine. It's gonna droop.
I made it tight.
It's gonna droop anyway. I'm just gonna have to readjust.
It's droopy
as we do it.
but it's tight.
Please stop talking. Welcome to the WrestleTalk Podcast review of SmackDown, I suppose. Sorry about all of that. For whatever reason, we started streaming off the streaming software that we use, and then we were waiting to go live on YouTube's back end, and for YouTube, it just said, well, you're not connected. I was like, yes, we are. And then on a different bit of YouTube, it said, hey, did you know that your stream's got an excellent connection? I was like, I know, so can we please go live now? And it didn't do it. It didn't let us go live at all. So we just had to make a new stream, I guess. I now need to actually get the stream ready so I can actually see if we're live and if it's working. And if the chat...
See, that's what I was going to do.
Yeah, and if the chat is, on board with everything, and if it's all
I'll go into the back end.
And let's just check this out real quick.
SmackDown was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's live. Yeah. Okay, good. Got the chat up here. I need to actually, while I'm here, I need to delete the other stream because that's otherwise going to be there. This is some great content. I'm so glad everyone is here for this. And this isn't in any way bad.
So, the main event.
No, we're not doing that. Did you know we're sponsored? Sorry, Beer 52. We're sponsored by Beer 52. Go get beer. Beer52.com/wrestle. You can get 10 free craft beers.
10?
10 of them. Normally, when people get sponsored by Beer 52, they get 8. But because we're such good friends with them, you can get 10.
When I drink beer, I get really, really hungry for a snack.
Well, the good news is that when you get one of these crates, I almost said crafts, when you get one of these crates, you also get a snack.
Whoa.
Or 2, maybe, if you're lucky.
And when I drink beer and eat my snack, I really want to read something.
Yep. Good thing is, you can also read something, because you get a magazine about all the beers.
Beer tasting, and we'll give you information about all the beers and all the aromas and all the flavours that you'll get in the beer.
Beer 52.
Beer.
.com/wrestle. Go do the thing. Andy's here today because Tempest is in Chicago right now doing
meeting Denise, meeting
Sean Rossett,
meeting Andrew Zarian,
meeting Alex, Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, he's met pretty much everyone, and I'm very jealous.
Not jealous at all.
No, we're in Hackney Wick.
Not jealous at all. Which is why we've got big reunion on the SmackDown podcast today with me and Andy.
You blew me up.
Sure did, buddy. Glad you walked it off. Anywho, should we actually talk about SmackDown? I guess I've been stalling because I don't really want to. What the opening bit that we are going to talk about though is actually a bit of a positive thing because I actually missed this first time I watched this, but we had a pretty fun main event, I thought. Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. It was a very fun match. I really enjoyed the main event as it is. Just the match itself was very fun. Finn Balor got beaten up beforehand by the Usos, so it was on the back foot. And Roman came back. Finn Balor actually hit the Coupe de Gracie, which I'm pretty sure is how you pronounce it.
The Coupe de Gracie.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
And but Roman, he went back to old tricks, kicked out, but did a low blow with the kick out. And then after that, pounded away on Balor and then looked in the guillotine and made him pass out. But then afterwards, the real talking point came from after this match. Roman was walking away, and suddenly the lights went red, and you just hear... It's the heartbeat from the Demon Finn Balor theme song.
And you picked up on that straight away, didn't you?
Sure did. I did not miss it at all. And I didn't put a poll onto WrestleTalk's community tab, this microphone. I didn't put a poll onto WrestleTalk's community tab saying, wow, is Lesnar stealing the Fiend's red lights? And everyone said, wait, wasn't that for Balor? And I was like, wait, what? And then went back and watched it again and went, oh yeah, it was. Whoops.
Yeah, and I finished watching the show, and then Roman was walking back. I was like, all right, that's the end. Mm-hmm. So when I saw the Return of the Fiend, I went...
The Fiend?
Sorry. Spoiler. Return of the Demon, I thought, that wasn't teased at all.
Yeah.
Turns out it was, and we just both didn't pick up on it.
Yeah.
So we're even better at our jobs.
Yeah, exactly. But I like subtlety, and that was a very subtle tease for it. So the main thing we actually want to talk about, what do you think about Demon Finn Balor coming back? Like, is it a good idea for him to come back? What do you think he should do when he does come back? Is it just because he's lost to Roman? Is he going to go after Roman again? Like, what's Demon Finn going to do?
Well, presumably, it's going to be a match at Extreme Rules.
Maybe.
Because it would feel weird unless there's going to be a rematch next week at the Madison Square Garden show.
No, because Lesnar's going to be there next week.
Yeah.
So I assume that's going to build to Reigns-Lesnar.
That would feel weird. So I'm assuming, unless they're going to do another horror show at Extreme Rules with the tagline, because as far as I'm aware, they're not doing that.
So far, they've just called it Extreme Rules.
But a Demon Finn Balor at Extreme Rules makes sense. I just don't know whether I want to see him lose. Because we haven't seen the Demon in... how long? I honestly can't remember the last time I saw him. So
2018, maybe?
Something like that. So to have him return as the Demon and then immediately lose just so Roman looks better.
You might want to hold the mic closer to your face. Not that close, Andy.
Feels strange.
Be pedantic.
So yeah, I always look forward to seeing the Demon. I've done this in a while.
Stop calling him the Fiend.
The Demon, but it feels like a bit of a waste. It didn't feel like he's going to do anything for Finn. Like he's not going to beat Roman unless he gets carried away and gets himself disqualified.
Here's a counter theory. It's not for Roman. Balor's going to turn into the Demon because he lost to Roman, but he's not going to challenge Roman again. He's just going to go on a massive winning streak as the Demon.
That does feel like a very Vince move. He's like, oh, what do fans like? The Demon. Every week on SmackDown. Maybe gone with him.
Maybe not every week. Maybe he has a run where, he just kind of shows up every so often and he has a pay-per-view match.
He could beat Dolph Ziggler.
Sure could. And other people. But he could... maybe this is just Finn taking on a new character because of the loss to Roman. Like, the loss to Roman has tipped him over the edge kind of thing, rather than it's going to be an immediate rematch against Roman.
A rematch.
Rematch, that's what I said.
Because, I can't imagine they're going to do... Surely they can't be doing Roman against Brock already at Extreme Rules. Or do you think that is the plan?
I think they might, honestly.
Because, I guess the thing is, they can't do it at Survivor Series, because unless Brock just goes to Raw, beats Bobby Lashley, and goes, I've got the belt now, I'm going to come and beat you. So I guess it has to be Extreme Rules or TLC or the Saudi show.
Could be the Saudi show, but I'd like to see it Extreme Rules. I mean, when Brock came back in 2012, his first match against Cena was at Extreme Rules. So it's not out of the realms of possibility for Lesnar to compete at an Extreme Rules. It could work. It would elevate a B pay-per-view, and they haven't done that in a long time.
It would elevate a B pay-per-view, but does that just mean that Brock's going to immediately lose?
I hope so. Yeah.
But he's back. He's back for about 8 matches that's reported.
Something like that, yeah.
So does he just come back, immediately lose, and then get drafted to Raw?
He could face Ricochet again.
Ricochet. Because you'd imagine that if Brock's coming back, he's going to be at Saudi.
Probably.
In either a big Hoss match.
Yes.
Or a
title match.
Who is the smallest person I can throw around match.
Totally. Yeah.
Mansoor could beat him.
Or maybe not that. Yeah.
But I think it just makes sense. Like, okay, Roman wins...
LOL.
Maybe Roman wins LOL at Extreme Rules in a kind of cheap way.
Sure.
Or Roman loses at Extreme Rules, drops the belt, and then wins it back at Saudi.
Sure.
Like, that feels dumb, but I can't... They've brought back Brock Lesnar at a really weird time, where there's no really big shows, and there's nothing kind of that he can do which makes sense for me at this moment in time. Like if Roman just loses, then Roman's lost, and then does Paul Heyman turn? I mean, because we saw a lot of little once again we saw last week, but this week even more little hints that Paul Heyman might be turning on Roman. So what's the idea? I know this is more about Finn Balor, this mini segment, but I mean, how would you fancy book this?
I don't know, honestly, because I don't know what their plans are. I don't know who they want to win or not. Maybe Demon Finn comes back and beats Lesnar.
Triple threat?
No, I wouldn't do that, personally.
No.
I think the main crux of the story of Reigns versus Lesnar is Paul Heyman. And diluting that with Finn Balor would diminish the impact of the match. So I wouldn't do that personally.
I've had a suggestion that Brock could pin Balor in a triple threat.
I'd hate that.
Save Roman from losing.
I'd hate that a lot.
And then Roman doesn't have the belt, but he takes on The Rock.
This is the same thing as when Walter had the belt. And people were saying, well, why didn't they do a Pete Dunne, Ilya Dragunov, Walter triple threat, and then Walter can be protected?
Yeah.
Walter's been protected. He held the belt for God knows how long. The idea of holding the belt for that long is that when someone finally beats them, that's a massive deal, and they get elevated so much by beating the unbeatable champion. Roman is that guy now. He's the unbeatable champion. If you're going to have him drop a title, it needs to be a big deal. Someone needs to beat him clean to be like, this guy managed to beat the unbeatable. And that would be a big moment.
It shouldn't be at Extreme Rules.
No.
I don't think. And I know Brock's going to be there next week, but it doesn't feel like we've had that build that we need to a Roman title loss.
No, totally not. I don't think Roman should lose. Absolutely
Brock
not.
will be there next week, and it's going to be weird, man, seeing is Brock going to cut a promo?
I don't know.
With his...
Who knows what he's going to do?
With the voice that doesn't fit him?
We'll talk about it more later when the announcement came on the show. But I think Demon Finn, I'm excited to see back because Demon Finn's very cool. I just have no idea what they're going to do with him. And I don't know whether this is a Roman-related thing or this is just a Balor thing that happened to come when he lost to Roman.
I would prefer the latter, where Balor is now out of the kind of title scene, and he's just the demon.
Yes.
For just I don't want to. I'm not sure I want to see him as demon every week because then that dilutes the character.
Well, that's the thing. I want to see him as the. Whenever he does appear, I want him to be the demon.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to appear all the time.
Like, I don't know, like, after just, let's say a heel wins a match, or someone wins a match, and then they're, like, celebrating, and then just go,
dun, dun. Yeah.
And they're like,
that's it.
Next victim.
Yeah.
Like Malachi,
that's all you need.
Sort of Malachi Black on AEW, where he just goes, you're next.
Exactly. That's exactly what I want to see from Finn Balor, and that would be really cool. That's a really interesting character build to him. And then he could go get the IC title or something, I don't know, and he could actually make that feel important. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a long shot because WWE don't do that. Anyway, I'm going to say let's get into some of your Ultrachats. Don't have the document up yet because I'm really organised. Ultrachats, get them in at WrestleTalk.com/support. We're going to read out all the ones that are $5 and up by the time the show goes off the air today. Which I don't know when that'll be because we started really late. So, Gatecrasher Forever says, Balor said he wouldn't bring back the demon in NXT as his character has moved on. I feel his character has gone backwards on SmackDown, who is more of a hard case on NXT, much more like his old Bullet Club Prince Devitt persona. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vince sees the demon as a main roster character.
It's a toy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can market that.
It is a toy. It is, it'll be Demon Finn Balor against Karrion Kross in the Battle of the Mattel toy.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll have... I imagine when we next see the demon, he'll have a different paint job, or he'll be wearing like a new hat thing, or he'll have something on him that they can sell because it's Nick Khan, and everything is like selling these days. So yeah.
Charles Berg says, major gripe. There was a Snickers commercial where Montez Ford went shopping, but purchased items by the number put next to them. Ford got in trouble for this, but I'm here thinking, who the hell numbers their shopping list? It's Bianca's fault, not Montez's.
Oh man, that's nuts. What was the question? I wasn't listening.
It was that you just hear Snickers and then just blanked out for the rest of it. There was a commercial where Montez Ford went shopping, and the shopping list was numbered, and I believe he must have got like the number of those things based on what number it was on the shopping list.
Right.
And then Charles Berg is saying, who numbers a shopping list?
See, I am someone who writes my shopping list down rather than has it on my phone.
That's fine.
But
you
yeah,
don't
I
number
wouldn't
it.
number it.
No,
Because that
that'd be
would lead
weird.
to confusion. I'd go, why am I buying 43 lemons?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. SMB says, I've never really noticed the piped-in crowd noise before. Oh, lucky you. But damn, it's become so obvious, lol. Really seemed as if Becky had zero reaction from the crowd while she was in the ring on her own, so they pumped it in. Becky already feels bland. Your thoughts? We'll talk about it more later. When we get into the Becky segment.
I thought Becky was being cheered more than anything.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like, she was trying to be a heel, and they were going...
Yeah.
She was like, I'm a knob. And they were like, yeah! Bianca's an idiot. Yeah!
Yeah.
And then Bianca comes out, and they're like,
Yeah,
Bianca!
yeah.
So
Totally.
the crowd doesn't really know who to... Or maybe they just pressed the wrong button.
Yeah, maybe.
Cheer is next to boo, and they went,
Yeah,
"Ugh."
maybe. But I mean, regardless, we'll talk about more about the Becky stuff later. But piped in crowd noise is so obnoxious, and it winds me up so much. It's just the worst.
Because it never works. Like, I've never gone,
Yeah,
oh,
totally.
yeah, they're really behind it. I'd go, oh, no, that sounds really out of place.
It's piped in,
Because
yeah.
that's not
totally.
how a crowd sounds.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless, we'll get into more of your Ultra Chats later on. WrestleTalk.com/support. Make sure to keep getting those in because we'll go through all the ones that are $5 and up by the time the show goes off the air. And I just want to remind people once again that we are sponsored by Beer 52, who've been sponsoring us since before SummerSlam. They're amazing, like 3 weeks now in a row they've been sponsoring us. They're amazing. Go get your free crate of craft beers if you're a UK viewer. You can get 10 free craft beers, and all you have to pay for is the postage and the shipping, which is like £5.95. Wow. So it works out as like 59.5p a can, which is ridiculously good value, and they're good beers, so go get them. beer52.com/wrestle. Let's get into the review of the rest of the show. Started off with a recap of Reigns and Balor, and we got straight into a championship contenders match.
Yes.
Of the Usos versus the Street Profits. I can't stand championship contenders matches. They are so stupid. As soon as I hear the phrase, I just get angry.
See, I haven't done the SmackDown review in a while, as you know, and I just feel like they've just gone round in a circle of all the tag teams they've got. Because I swear the last time I was doing this review, they were doing the Street Profits against the Usos.
Dude, they have like 4 teams. What are they going to do?
Well, it's the same on Raw. I was having a chat with the website team last night, and they went, who are they going to put on? I guess the Viking Raiders are being groomed now, and then they'll lose. And then Veer and Shanky?
Yeah.
The tag team division it's good, but there's none of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
the talent on it is very good.
And then later in the show, you get probably the Mysterios are going to break up, presumably, because Ray keeps being a terrible father.
Why not have a father and son tag team break up? Because WWE doesn't know what to do with tag teams apart from break them up.
And another tag team you've got is Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. And I mean, when was the last time Robert Roode did anything?
I mean, they were tag champs not long ago.
The Hot Dogs, yeah. I don't know.
Anyway,
it's the Street Profits again. It's like, oh right, cool. They might win it, and then they'll bring the smoke, and then they'll have the belt for a month and a half.
I will say,
and they'll lose it again.
To their credit, the Street Profits do feel elevated going against the Usos, because the Usos do feel like a much bigger deal since they become part of the Bloodline and with Roman and stuff like that. This feels like a more important storyline, but championship contenders matches can get in the bin.
Yeah, and then I never thought this match was going to finish clean, which is bad.
I did. I thought it was going to finish clean. What an idiot.
No, I just assume all WWE matches now on TV are going to end in a DQ, and in AEW this would not have been a DQ because the fact that there was 2 people in the ring, one who shouldn't have been, would never be a DQ. But credit to the referee, I guess he followed the rules. One of the Usos, I can't remember which, wouldn't get out of the ring, wouldn't stop beating up one of the Street Profits, I can't remember which. I think it was Ford. He kept throwing him shoulder first into the ring post,
and then he called for a DQ.
And then he called.
Oh no, it wasn't even a DQ. It was a no contest.
Yeah, called for the DQ. Then the Usos are beating up Dawkins on the outside.
Yeah.
And then the camera didn't quite catch this, but Ford did some crazy S-word dive backflip thing.
Yep.
And just appeared out of from out of nowhere, and killed them all.
Yep. Cool.
And then stood tall on the table.
Also, the Usos' new catchphrase is "We are the ones."
Yeah. We are the world.
I don't like that. And the match just ends, was my next note. After that, we got Paul Heyman backstage with Kayla Braxton. Love their interactions. That's great. He gets a call on his little phone, and his ringtone is Brock Lesnar's theme.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. The scandal, and Kayla's like, "Don't you want to pick that up?"
Kayla's acting was so bad.
I love it. No, I loved it. This was great. It was
Fine.
genuinely, their interactions are hilarious because she's so smug about everything, and he's just like, Kayla, I literally can't stand you. With like every facial expression and every word he says is like dripping with like anger at her. I love this. This is great. He gets a call from Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar's theme song as his ringtone. Ignores it the first time, takes it the second time, and says yes, he'll pass along the message, which we find out later.
I mean, he hasn't been Brock Lesnar's advocate for a while.
Yeah, but he's still associated with him.
Yeah, but I mean, he needs to change his ringtone, or
It's a good theme, mate.
he needs to change his. He needs to change.
He needs to
change his ringtone, or as I prefer to call it, anal bleaching. And yeah, so he clearly needs to change it because, or does he have, like I was saying before the show, does he have this for every single person in WWE?
I hope so. That would be so funny.
Like Bailey calls him and
Yeah.
coming out of his pocket.
No. I want it to be Brock Lesnar's theme for every person.
For every single person.
Yeah.
Because that, if it's for every person, then that's a real hint that like, oh no, he still loves Brock.
Exactly. That's my point.
If I called him, would it
Yes.
do?
Is that Brock Lesnar's theme?
How do you do the bit at the beginning? How would you do the bit at the beginning where it goes?
I wouldn't.
No, do it.
No, I wouldn't.
No, you laughed at me.
Yeah, I did.
I'm not continuing until you've done an impression of it.
Because I'm not an idiot enough to do that. Big E was also there, dressed as a janitor for some reason, and then he laughed at them with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Cool.
Yeah.
We then got Becky Lynch. Came out to the ring. She got a nice little hometown pop. The man has come around to wherever they were. Jacksonville? I don't know. Which is weird because she's supposed to be the heel. And then she says, she tries to do some little heel digs, just being like, I didn't get any "you deserve it" chants last week. And then the crowd started chanting "you deserve it," and she was like, yeah, thank you. Still trying to be a babyface about it. And then she makes a very good point, being like, hey, she accepted my challenge and she wasn't ready. That's not my fault. That's Bianca's fault for not being ready. And it was like, yeah, you're kind of right, I guess.
Yeah, Bianca was doing the thing that she did at WrestleMania, where she was sort of soaking up the atmosphere. And then Sasha Banks stood there and went, yeah, let's soak it up. Becky was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And just punched her. And yeah, I hated the moment.
Yeah.
When it happened.
I hated it, yeah.
And I still don't like it.
Me neither.
And I still would have preferred this, but I like the fact that they're at least framing Becky as a slightly smarter heel rather than...
Totally.
Like, but Bianca goes, let's have a match now. And Becky goes,
no.
No.
That's what she did last week as well.
Yeah.
She was just like, I want a rematch. And Becky goes, no. So then Bianca literally won a number one contendership last week. And she goes, okay, so that title match that I'm now owed, let's do it tonight. And Becky goes, no. And then walks off. Great.
Yeah, it works because...
She keeps doing that. She's going to get booed.
Because Becky's
eventually.
always been framed, like, even when she was babyface, she's always been framed as a slightly more intelligent wrestler.
Yeah, totally.
So if she just came back on, yes, I will have a rematch with you right now.
Yeah.
It has been made official, hasn't it?
Yes. Extreme Rules, yeah. They're going to do the contract signing next week.
At Madison Square, so look forward to that. Table flip.
It's going to go well. Yeah, it was fine. I'm excited for Becky Lynch's descent into heel madness. It should be good.
I'm excited to see them have a proper match.
Me too.
And I genuinely am intrigued about the result. I imagine Becky will win.
Becky will win. But that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Then, Toni Storm is back. Toni, where have you been? Oh my God. She had one match on SmackDown and then she's gone forever. She's back. Way, Toni Storm. Oh, she's in a men's storyline.
Is she though? She just said a thing. She just said that she doesn't like Dolph Ziggler, and no one likes Dolph Ziggler.
Ziggler started flirting with her a bit,
yeah.
And then she was like, well, I'm actually rooting for Boogs in the match against you in a minute. And Ziggler's like, that's fine. Well, we'll see how it goes. People have done that. I get why you like him. He's a nice guy, but, stay tuned on that one. And then she's like doing her hair and stuff as he walks off. It's like, ugh.
It's great acting. She should win a Tony Award.
Oh, that was not good. I really hope that this was just a 1 week throwaway thing just to have her on the show.
Yeah.
And to put over Boogs some more.
Toni Storm, I know she's blonde, and I know Vince likes that, but she is not someone you need to be sending going, oh my God, Dolph Ziggler's so hot.
Totally.
Dolph Ziggler
Put
is
her out
so
there and wrestle.
sexy.
It's what she does.
Dolph
She
Ziggler
wrestles.
has he had the most girlfriends of anyone ever in WWE? Like, on kayfabe.
The Godfather. Girlfriends, probably, yeah. And then also after that, we got Boogs versus Ziggler, which ended in 2 minutes because Boogs won with a really lackluster pump handle slam.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a similar gimmick
what
to
it is.
Elias, which is playing a guitar.
Except
and he has a
goofy.
rubbish finisher like Elias.
Hey, I like the pump handle slam.
You just said it was rubbish.
This one was very lackluster.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
bad pump handle slam, but I like the pump handle slam.
Fine. Whatever. I like Rick Boogs. I think he's
Me too.
very fun.
I'm so bored of him.
But I would prefer to see Nakamura doing the wrestling.
I'm so bored of Boogs because it's the same now every week. My name is Rick Boogs, and I'm here to rock with the true king in SmackDown. Intercontinental. Oh my God. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
It's just that all the time now. And I understand getting over a catchphrase. I understand. But it's the same. And it's a grating noise. And if he did it once, that's fine. That's just charisma. Fine. But it's the same every week. And it's just him doing a power thingy and then a pump handle slam. And that's it now.
Is Pete saying Boogs or boo? I'm just that's a Simpsons thing.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Tempest in the chat.
Hi, Tempest. You're missing out on so much Andy Datson goodness. We then got confirmation Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce backstage said it's going to be Becky versus Bianca at Extreme Rules, and the contract signing will be next week. And then we got Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, for God's sake. Why do they do so many bloody rematches?
Yeah, so when I saw this, like, oh, cool, that'll be a good match. I'm like, oh, but... And then afterwards I thought, they could have used someone else.
Sure could.
Instead of Cesaro, because if you're going to beat someone up so badly that they look like a chump, don't make it Cesaro
And
when he hasn't been on TV for quite a while.
God, the thing is, I thought, foolishly, that Rollins and Edge were done. And last week, when Edge was saying he's now done with Rollins and he's going to try and go back for the Universal Championship because that's what it was all about in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Cool, Edge has moved on. And Rollins was saying, you know what? Edge, you taught me a lesson at SummerSlam. And I need to be more like Edge going forwards. And I was like, cool, that's a nice way to like put a... Rollins hasn't forgotten about it, but they're not feuding anymore. Turns out they are still feuding. This feud must continue because in this match, Rollins had a promo in gorilla position saying he requested the match against Cesaro and saying that he wants to be, he needs to be more like Edge, which amounted to doing an execution and an Edge-o-matic.
Yeah.
And that was it for the match.
It was a bit like if Edge had said before their match at SummerSlam, oh, I'm going to be a bit more like Beth Phoenix because he hit one move.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, the match itself was fun. They're both very good wrestlers.
Yeah.
It's a fun match. They're both very good at what they do.
But we knew it was going to be fun, and that's great. But why Cesaro and why this match again? I guess they went, oh, we are at Madison Square Garden next week. What are we going to do? Edge versus Seth Rollins.
Again.
Can we just do that? Yeah.
But do it again, though. Screw it.
It would
And,
be good.
like, I
does Rollins just
genuinely,
win?
I can't get over the idea that Cesaro's WrestleMania feud with Rollins was about Cesaro breaking into the main event scene, which he then did by beating Rollins, had that one Universal title match against Roman Reigns, and then that's it. And then you just throw him in a match on SmackDown again, as if that storyline hadn't happened. And they just go, what a rivalry these two have had, right? And it's like, yeah, literally, like 4 months ago. We remember stuff.
I just can't see Rollins winning a 4-in-1 handicap match. Because you know a Madison Square has 4 edges.
My God.
Do you get it? A Madison Square, like the garden, has 4 edges. So it's a 4-in-1 handicap match.
Bring me Tempest back, please. After the match, it ends in a DQ because
It did.
because of course it does, right? Seth grabs a chair, smashes it in Cesaro's face. He's going for an uppercut. In isolation, I said this in my edited review. In isolation, if Seth had caused the DQ for this match, it wouldn't have been a bad thing because Cesaro was on the upper foot. Seth was trying to be sneaky. And
upper foot?
Upper foot? That's what I said.
He was on the upper foot, everyone.
Yeah. He had the upper hand. Seth was on the back foot. Yeah. There we go. And he took the cowardly way out because he realized he couldn't win. Sure, that makes sense. The reason this doesn't work is because WWE do non-finishes all the time. So at this point, it's a Pavlovian response for all of us to go, ugh, every time we see a non-finish. So as soon as that non-finish happens, you go, for God's sake, even if it makes sense for the story, which it does in this case, it still detracts from it because they overuse the non-finish all the time.
Also, why did Edge wait so long? He was like, was he out back having a cup of coffee? And they're like, Edge, you should probably check this out. He's like,
also, Edge came out, which we didn't mention yet.
I just got to finish this coffee. And then he goes, oh, really? Seth is attacking Cesaro now. I better go out there. Yeah. And Edge runs out. And then
saves him from a concerto.
Yeah, and then Seth does that kind of thing. Ha 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 ha! I got you to come out here, and that was it.
Yep. Edge versus Rollins next week. Rematch. Love it. This feud must continue. The Bloodline are backstage. Heyman then tells Reigns that Lesnar will be at SmackDown next week, and Roman says, "How do you know that he's not here tonight?" And Heyman can't answer it. I can answer it though. Because Lesnar's only got so many dates. He's not going to do 2 weeks in a row. Don't be crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know whether they were hinting at, like, Heyman knowing exactly where Brock was.
I think they were trying to put over that Reigns was paranoid that Heyman was in on it with Lesnar.
Well, he said, he's in Saskatchewan. And then he's like, how do you know he's there? And but that got to me as if, like, Heyman was going. And then Heyman went, oh, he might be in... wherever he's from, Minnesota.
Yeah.
So that made me kind of. I feel like that's just another hint at Heyman knowing a lot more about Brock's movements than he's giving away.
I think he doesn't know anything. I think he's literally just trying to say stuff. He's literally just being like, Reigns is saying to Heyman, like, prove to me that you know where he is. And Heyman can't give an answer because he doesn't know where he is because he hasn't been in contact. Yeah. He literally said that Lesnar called his phone for the first time in like 18 months or whatever it was.
He might have Find My Friends.
Anyway,
where do you think this is? Where do you think this is going with the whole? Do you think Heyman's going to turn on Roman, or do you think it's going to be like a triple bluff where he looks like he's going to go back to Brock and then turns on Brock and then allows Roman to win? Or
I don't know, but I'm quite curious.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely quite curious to see where this is going because I don't know.
Because it's Paul Heyman will be producing this as well.
Yes,
which makes me think thought has gone into it.
Yes, 100%, exactly, and you can tell that there's a lot of subtle storytelling going on at play, which is very good. Edge backstage confirms it is going to be Edge versus Rollins next week, stacking the MSG show. And then we got Happy Corbin. I love Happy Corbin. He's great. He's a proper dickhead.
He is such a dickhead.
I love it.
And then they teamed him here with another massive dickhead.
Yeah, they did.
And WWE really now know how to frame Logan Paul
as a dickhead.
Because he is one. And he's not just acting a dickhead.
I mean,
as far as I'm aware,
he was also acting a dickhead. Yeah.
He's not just doing that. As far as I'm aware, he is a bit of one in real life.
A bit, yes. Yes, he is.
I didn't want to, in case there were some Logan Paul fans watching.
Anyway, Happy Corbin was on the KO show. Happy Corbin then kind of hijacks the show and been like, I've got my own special guest. And KO is just like, what do you mean? It's my show. And he goes, here's Logan Paul. And everyone was like, wait, what? Logan Paul comes out, proper dickhead, starts getting into it with Kevin Owens and just being like, we're super rich. And he's like, from the way you're dressed, don't you want like $100? Like, gets some money out and starts teasing him and all that stuff. KO acts like he's going to get into a fight with him, starts shoving him. As he runs to go towards him, Corbin interrupts, punches him and choke slams Kevin Owens. And he and Logan Paul walk off together being like, we're so rich. Proper dickheads. Loved it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It was appalling.
Hated that. And now, Andy, next thing on SmackDown, and now for your viewing pleasure, Carmella. And there she was. And then there was Liv Morgan, who was next to her and just went, seriously? And then the segment ended.
hey, I thought this was really effective in building both women.
What just happened?
As effective challengers for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I mean, is this just the feud now? Is this them just feuding?
They've already feuded. Like, recently.
And now, for your viewing pleasure, Pete. Seriously?
That's the whole segment, guys. Anyway.
I feel so sorry for Liv Morgan.
She's really good. She had such a good bit against Bianca Belair last week.
They keep doing little bits where they're like, okay, cool. They're going to give her something. Yeah. And then this happens.
And then they don't.
Like,
yeah, it's wild. We then got, for the second week running, Dominik Mysterio versus Sami Zayn. And for the second week running, Rey Mysterio went out to the back to make sure that Dom can do it by himself. And then he came out to ringside again.
And ruined everything.
And then Dominik Mysterio got a haluva kicked and pinned again. So basically what I'm saying is this was exactly the same as last week, but a shorter match and worse.
Yeah.
Good job.
They're trying to tell a story.
Yep.
But it's not. They're doing it really, really ineffectively.
They're
doing it so obviously.
It's not just that though.
That it's just really tedious to watch.
It's just not progressing. It's just the same story multiple weeks in a row.
Well, the thing is, what happens is they decided to start the story a few weeks ago, and went, oh no, but it's quite a few more weeks than we had realised until Extreme Rules or a big show.
Yeah.
Or like, let's give it another week or so, and this happens again. Are they going to then do the turn so that they can have a match at Extreme Rules?
I honestly, I don't know or care at this point, which is bonkers because it's Dominik and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
I should care about it, and I just don't. What else can I say?
And like,
whatever.
I have every expectation that this match is going to be next week, or Rey will be like, oh no, I will come out. Maybe you do need my help. And then he'll screw it up again for Dom.
Sure. Or like Rey will have a match and Dom will be like, don't worry, I'll help. But then he'll cost Rey or something dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Don't care. Naomi was backstage and she said to Sonya Deville, who was passing, she was like, hey, last week you said I want my first match back. So what's my first match going to be? And yet again, Sonya Deville kind of blows her off to be like, I'm super busy. Ask me again next week. And next week is the MSG show. So she's going to be super busy. So she's going to do the same thing again next week, most likely. I don't mind this. This form of repetitive storytelling is good because it's actually a point because she keeps doing the same thing, which is infuriating Naomi. That's the point of the story.
Yeah. So, yeah, cause she's like, I guess the story they're telling is that Sonya was trying to give everyone, like, okay, let's say Becky beats Bianca. And then afterwards, Sonya will give someone else a shot at Becky, and someone else a shot at Becky, and someone else a shot at Becky. So I hope what they're doing is being like, just making everyone want Naomi more.
Yeah, that's it. It's literally like Naomi being like, can I please have a match? And Sonya being like, you're not worthy of my time.
Yeah.
Which literally makes you go like, yes, she is, Sonya. So that's fine. It's good storytelling.
Yeah. So Sonya goes, I'm going to pick someone to have a match. She goes, I'm going to pick...
just leading to a pun.
Yeah. You ruined it, Pete. So Sonya's going to go. Right. And you'll love this one. And she'll go, oh, I'm going to give a match to Liv Morgan. And then Naomi will go, no, me. That was worth it.
I haven't missed you. Super SmackDown, they're calling it next week, the MSG show.
What? It's going to be the same. Oh, by the way, I missed one earlier. If Finn Balor gained lots of weight, would he become Fat Balor?
Lynch versus Belair's contract signing will be next week at MSG. Rollins versus Edge will be next week at MSG. And Brock Lesnar will be there at MSG next week as well. Pretty wild show they got going on.
It sounds super.
It is pretty super. And then they had the main event that we already spoken about that was really fun. This show, I know I've been quite loud this episode and relatively negative. I think it's Andy's influence.
Yeah,
genuinely, I think it's because you're here. I'm just so much more angry.
It was one of those ones where I wrote lots of negative notes, but actually the show kind of breezed by.
It was fine.
And it was perfectly acceptable. Some good bits and some less good bits, but nothing like that I was like, oh my God, this is so horrible. Apart from that Carmella bit, that was just weird.
See, the thing is, with these WWE shows, I sound very negative about everything, and sometimes it's because the stuff is really bad, right? This wasn't a bad show. I was negative about it because it's repetitive and boring, and it's got championship contenders matches that end in non-finishes and nonsensical booking. The actual wrestling that we got in this show was pretty good. In fact, I'd say it's very good. But it's just all the stuff that's... There's nuggets of good in there, and it's just surrounded by just all of this shit on the outside of it that just makes you not look at it in a fond light.
You sweared.
I did. Swear jar emotes in the chat. I would have given this like a high 3, low 4.
I just give it a very solid 3. Just like
the main event was really good.
Yeah,
it was really good. It was a nice way to end off a fun tease for Demon Balor. I'm excited for that, and everything else was fine. Nothing was really bad per se.
Old me would have gone great main event, 4 out of 5. But now I kind of
now you're older and more cynical.
I see the whole show and like, okay, there was enough to not be a 4 out of 5.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry about Pete, everyone. I try and control him, but
I'm still
clearly Tempest, who is a real potty mouth, has affected your mind.
I'm blaming you for this. Honestly, I blame the technical issues as to why I'm more negative because I've just been a bit stressed out today.
It was that kind of silent stress where I could tell you were really stressed, but you didn't want to be super, like you didn't want to
be super aggro about it.
That is. I've just seen the poll. That is quite one-sided.
I'm getting to it, Andy.
Nice poll.
57% say it was a 3 out of 5 show, with 18% going one higher with a 4 out of 5, according to the poll on our community tab, which seems about right. 11% doing a 2 out of 5, so definitely in that kind of middle bracket. But yeah, good stuff. There was something else I was going to say. It was a Reddit post that I just wanted to point out that I saw yesterday.
I read it.
Hate that. Which I thought was quite interesting, which was the amount of rematches that WWE have done this year in comparison to AEW. Now, this isn't just about the comparison to AEW because the number in WWE alone is baffling.
Is this okay? Can I have a guess?
Well, let me do the ground rules first, right? So this is matches that have exactly the same competitors. So it is like a singles match to a singles match, not like the same competitors in a tag match or anything like that. Just exact it, or a tag match to a tag match featuring exactly the same competitors.
Okay.
Stipulation changes is still a rematch. Even if it goes from a singles to an Extreme Rules match, still counts as a rematch.
Right.
And it's only for Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-view.
Okay.
Right? So, number of rematches from this year.
Do you know what the AW number is?
Yes.
Okay. Give me the AW number because you said it was so much lower.
Okay, well, don't look at my screen because I'm going to get up the thing because it's in the headline. So for AEW, this is including Dynamite and Rampage, not Dark and not Dark Elevation. All right.
Right.
The number for AEW, 16.
Okay. I think it's probably over 100. 174.
160.
Oh,
so close. 160.
That's 10 times, literally
rematches.
10 times as many.
10 times as many. In fairness to WWE, looking at Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-view, for the majority of the year until Rampage became a thing, WWE had 2.5 times the airtime that AEW does, right? There's quite a lot more, so you'd expect them to have more rematches than AEW if they were a comparable level. Do you want to know the percentages?
Yes.
Oh, this is a fun one. See how many bloody rematches there are. In terms of percentages, okay, so for AEW, 6.7% of all matches this year are rematches. 6.7%.
Okay.
So that's 93.3% on new matches.
Can you put it into a fraction so we can have some fraction warfare?
No. Do you want to guess the percentage for WWE?
46.
31.8%
of all matches.
Of all matches this year is an exact rematch. This doesn't include people being included in a feud going into like a tag match, like a Biggie Apollo Crews that have faced each other in some form 17 times this year. That's not an exaggeration, that's an actual number. Like, just exact rematches. Nearly a third of all matches this year so far have been rematches.
See,
which is bonkers.
This is why so many fans only watch pay-per-views now.
Yeah.
Because they don't need to watch anything else.
And guess what? Next week, we've got a rematch. We've got Seth Rollins versus Edge, which is a rematch from SummerSlam. This episode, we had a rematch of the Usos and the Street Profits. And we had a rematch of another one that I can't think of right now. Cesaro and Rollins.
Yeah.
So many rematches.
You could watch the pay-per-view and the show afterwards.
Yeah.
And then the next pay-per-view. And pretty much from the show after the pay-per-view, you would know what the next set of matches
I think you just need to watch the pay-per-views. I don't even think you need the shows after. Like, you'll be fine, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
31 seems like a low number. I thought it was going to be more than that.
Nearly a third of all matches.
No, I know.
Exact.
But I thought it was more
exact rematches.
No, but I thought it was more than that still.
It's insane. Yeah, it absolutely bonkers.
Rusev rematchka.
It's genuinely a fascinating post. I'd recommend going and reading it. It's posted by the user Milba3. It was posted 1 day ago, so it didn't include SmackDown and Rampage from yesterday. It's on the Squared Circle Reddit, and yeah, it's genuinely fascinating. Like just looking at that, and obviously this isn't including stuff from like 2020 going into 2021. So it is like, even if something happened on December 31st, 2020, and then on January 1st, 2021, it doesn't count as a rematch.
Right, okay.
For example. And also, that does mean that this number is based off, so if let's say it's Biggie and Apollo Crews, let's say they faced off 3 times in a singles match, that's 2 rematches, not 3. So you get even more matches than what we're saying. The number of rematches is that high.
Pete, I've got a B in GCSE maths.
I'm explaining it for everyone. There are 1,000 people watching right now.
That's true.
So I'm explaining it for them too. I could not believe it. I sent it to Tempest yesterday, and he said, that number makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I totally get it, my dude.
That might also be
insanity.
because he had bugs in his... Did you hear? Tempest Hotel. He had to switch hotels in Chicago because the first hotel had bugs in it.
That's awful.
As in like insects, not like a recording device.
Recording device, yeah.
Yeah.
I would feel bad for him, but also he's in Chicago, so I don't.
Yeah.
Right. Tell you what. Do you want to very briefly, Andy, because I haven't had time to watch Rampage.
Yeah.
Because I've been very busy trying to sort out the studio and with all the technical issues and trying to get everything set up. I haven't had time to watch Rampage at all. So, Andy, what happened on Rampage?
So
very quickly. Keep this under 5 minutes, please.
We open up with Malachi Black versus Lee Johnson in kind of Malachi Black's continuing sort of destruction of the Nightmare family.
Okay.
The match went a lot longer than I think anyone was expecting.
Sure.
Because all the others so far have been like, 3 moves and then the Black Mass.
Sure.
Towards the end of the match, Black gets a chair, takes it into the ring, and it was like, oh no, he's going to get himself disqualified, which is weird for Malachi Black, because surely he would beat Lee Johnson, who's a bit of a dweeb. But then he hands Johnson the chair as if like, come on, have a go at me.
Okay.
And Johnson picks up the chair as if like, okay. And then before he can kind of get it up, Black just goes Black Mass and pins with an arm to the face.
Okay.
Dustin Rhodes comes out, and Dustin Rhodes will be next, I guess, on the next Rampage.
Yeah, for the next member of the Nightmare family. Makes sense.
So which I guess is just still leading to Cody's return and Cody just beating Malachi Black, I guess.
Probably.
Because America and Malachi Black is Dutch. So.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Next up, we had a championship contender. No, it wasn't really. It was Chris Statlander in a 2-on-1 handicap match against Rebel and Jamie Hayter, because obviously she's got Britt Baker tomorrow night.
Yep.
Statlander won. She looked really cool in this match. She kind of battled against the odds. It wasn't one of those matches where it was a kind of 2-on-1 a lot of the time, where it was, and then the babyface got a spot. She did this really cool kind of. She was holding.
I think I saw
holding one of them like that, and the other one
was like an electric chair,
electric chair.
Yeah.
And sort of slammed them both down. So that was really cool. And she won. I think she tapped out Rebel.
Cool.
I still don't think she's not going to beat Britt Baker, but it's good to.
But good to make her look strong, though.
Yeah, it's good to make someone look strong who's going for the belt. And then we had like 23 different video packages, and they had a promo segment between Miro and Eddie Kingston. Miro kind of going on about how he's the God's chosen champion, and Eddie Kingston coming out and basically say you're God's a knob, and what did he? He was like, "Oh, you're going to redeem me? Oh, you can redeem D's nuts," and then kind of ran into the ring, and Rusev ran out.
Rusev.
Miro ran out. I haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, I know.
And then Eddie's like, "Oh, you whip." Eddie leaves the ring, and then Miro comes and beats him up. So kind of like played a bit of possum. Miro looked strong at the end, and then the main event was Darby Allin against Daniel Garcia, which was a perfectly good match. 2.0 thingy on the outside. Allin
2.0 thingy.
Allin won the match. It was a fine match. Allin won the match. The main kind of thing really was they ran as soon as he won, everyone crowded the ring, started beating him and Sting up, and then Punk was on commentary for this, and he was sort of sitting there going, "Okay, I'll go and help." And then he sort of was watching it for a while, and then didn't run sprint down. It was quite a neat bit of storytelling.
Right.
Like, he could get weakened before our match on Sunday.
Yeah.
But also, I should probably help him because he helped me last week. He doesn't want to come across as a total heel.
Yeah.
He saves the day, but as soon as so he's kind of confronting honestly don't know their names. The tag lads, not Daniel Garcia.
2.0.
2.0. That's what I said, isn't it?
2.0 thingy was what you said before.
Punk was kind of facing off them, and then Allin did one of his suicide dives, took both of them out. But within like a second of him doing that, Allin was up again, and they were doing the face-off.
That's cool.
So that was a cool visual to end the show. And then, all out tomorrow night.
I'm so excited.
You and Ollie will be doing live results from in here.
Live reactions.
Live results.
Not in here.
Oh, I thought Ollie said you were doing it in here.
I don't want to do it in here. It gets really hot in here.
Pretty sure you're doing it in here.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to. I want to sit on the Cineworld chairs. They're much more comfy.
Well, because if you were going to do it in there, I'd be like, "Can I come?" Because I live.
No, because it's two-man booths.
Yeah, I know it is.
Yeah.
But I would just try and sneak my way in anyway.
No.
I'm going to watch it on. If you're watching it in the UK, go to Fight TV. They've been very good to us and given us some nice things in the past. So if you don't know where to watch it in the UK, go to Fight TV. You can get it real cheap.
Cool.
And it's going to be an awesome show.
Thank you for that Rampage Roundup, Randy.
That was a rubbish joke. Your jokes all
That's
suck.
not a joke. That was just alliteration. Yeah. Before we get into the rest of your Ultra Chats, one more time, we're sponsored by beer52.com/wrestle. Go get 10 free craft beers. They're really cool. Let's get into thanking our awesome Pledgehammers, our $25 and above Pledgehammers, who are really cool people. If you pledge at the $25 tier or above, you get your own custom wrestling nickname, and it gets spread out on a show, much like this one. So thank you to the British Bulldog, Fit Boy J. Smith Jr.
Ah, yeah. He's no jackass. Dano.
Yes, thank you very much. He's a sexy man. Sexy man. Not an Andrew Gross man. Woo! Thank you very much.
Fantastic Mr. Good Old Fox.
Yes, thank you very much. Will always mark out for Ollie Landrum.
Yeah.
What a terrible choice.
The roller coaster, Robert Acosta.
Nice, thank you very much. WrestleTalk's personal ring announcer, Rodrigo Benitez.
Yes. The Vision Adonis.
Lovely, thank you very much. Ryan B. Bad.
Shield Maiden, the Zornice.
Yes,
She emailed me the other day.
Chris, the Cypriot sensation, Petru.
And finally, Ronald Coleman, baby, debuting tomorrow night.
Lovely, maybe. Maybe.
I like that. Maybe.
Said maybe. All right, let's get into the rest of your Ultra Chats here. Last chance to get those in at WrestleTalk.com/support. Charles Berg says, I'd like to think Bruce Pritchard was sitting back in his chair on Friday thinking to himself, we just had Rick Boogs debut singles match. Top that, AEW. And then he chuckles and smokes a cigar or something. I don't know. Good episode of SmackDown, though. That was all right, yeah.
It was fine.
It was fine. SMB says, I'd love for Dom to turn on Rey. Dom should end up retiring and taking Rey's mask, crowning himself as Prince Mysterio. But I do find Dom hard to buy into because he's been portrayed as a 5-year-old and doesn't look like the most intimidating heel. Thoughts?
Yeah, I would rather Rey turns on Dominik.
Yes.
Yes. Rey is distracting him on purpose.
Less that. Not distracting him on purpose, but Rey is just like, son, for God's sake, please win. You've got the Mysterio name.
Dominik does have a bit of a baby,
A baby face.
Yes, he has a baby's face.
Yeah.
And he's got that kind of tattoo, which
looks a bit rubbish.
Yeah, he does look like a 12-year-old boy.
A little bit.
And I feel like he would be not like a good heel. He would just be like an annoying person, like kind of
could
you
work for
suck,
him.
Dad.
Which could work for him, maybe. Yeah. We don't know. Courtney Allen says, hey guys, what are your thoughts on Naomi turning heel next week by taking out Bianca and signing the contract herself? Hate that. 1 for Ollie and Ollie for 1. No. And also, don't do that, because it was really bad when Cena did it. That's not the precedent.
Naomi is a big old baby face. Have you noticed, by the way, that they
totally turn heel?
Just took Naomi's gear and went, that's the NXT logo.
Kinda.
Yeah. I just saw that earlier. Went, huh.
Well, I assumed what they did was looked at AEW Dynamite's intro and then went, that's NXT then, isn't it? Yeah. Some more Ultrachats about AEW Rampage. Hannah Allen says, hello, lovely gents. I love the thought and care that AEW takes with their characters and stories. Sure, there's been a miss or two, but Malachi Black, for instance, there's psychology behind the character, and that transcends his wrestling. Magic. And part 2 to that says, Eddie and Miro are other good examples. Miro, 100% dicey to start with, but once they started highlighting his attributes, his character almost completely has a new voice. Eddie is just gold. Guys, I'm in love with wrestling again. Lots of love. LIW444 for life. Thank you very much.
See, that's the thing, isn't it, with AEW? You're like, oh, he's had a bad start, but I trust them.
But
whereas
you trust AEW.
WWE's like, here's Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
And you're like,
and instantly we go, you have a bad track record. This isn't going to go well.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and
Yeah. Gatecrasher Forever says, Everrise /2.0 must be astounded at how they've gone from 205 Live jobbers to main event versus Sting and CM Punk. That is pretty wild, yeah. Happy for them. Very cool.
Yeah, no, awesome stuff.
Gatecrasher Forever says, it's so floppy, I'll hold it, it's tight. Randy Andy Datson returns to SmackDown Podcast. This is going to sound good for podcast listeners. Lol.
Yeah, I was talking about his penis.
You were not. You were talking about the microphone. Gatecrasher Forever again says, I miss the infamous orange Sainsbury's carrier bag above Andy's cupboard in his kitchen from when he did the podcast from home. Is it still there?
It's not. I've moved house since, and my girlfriend would not allow that.
She wouldn't allow the orange Sainsbury's bag, full stop.
No. We have got some orange Sainsbury's bags, but they're in a cupboard folded up in another bag of our bags.
Yes.
You must have a bag of bags.
Of course.
At your place. Yeah.
I'm not a monster. Of course I have a bag of bags.
Yeah. No, so if I was streaming from my desk right now, you'd see a giant hedgehog plushie.
Okay, right,
Yeah.
Not an actual one, not a live one.
No, and a map of the world.
Cool. Well, I look forward to it.
Yeah.
For the next time you're on the SmackDown podcast from home, whenever that will be.
Take more weeks off, Tempest. I've had fun. But not that often. Because I don't like working Saturdays.
You don't want to work Saturdays that often, do you? Well, that is going to do it for this wild episode of the SmackDown and Rampage podcast. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Sorry about the late start and all the technical difficulties. Thanks. Live reactions tomorrow for All Out. It's me versus Ollie for the Jam That Championship, which means I've already retained because it's Ollie. So subscribe to the WrestleTalk Podcast channel for more of that. Go get your free crate of craft beers at beer52.com/wrestle. Thank you so much for watching. That was SmackDown. I've been John Piconell, joined by Randy Andy Datson. Thanks for filling in, Andy.
Holla, holla.
Can you press the end broadcast button, please?
Yeah.
Thank you, mate.
Someone said they didn't miss me, Pete. I'm very upset.